Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LMSHL Stanley Cup Final. Yes, we are finally here. And probably to the surprise of very few people, we have Boston taking on Los Angeles in the Cup Final. So we are here to preview that. We'll get to the AHL in a little bit, so let's dive right into it, shall we? So let's kick things off. So start in the NHL, taking a look at the tail of the tape. These two teams split their one game series or the one night series 1-1 apiece. Again, LA only losers of 3 games his entire season. Boston 44-9-1. First in each of their conferences in their divisions. LA defeating Anaheim 4-0, 4-1 to Chicago, and they swept Edmonton. So quick work through these playoffs. Only one loss so far. And for the Bruins, they have taken down Toronto in 6, Buffalo in 5, and Philadelphia in 6. So the Flyers' black magic runs out in the Eastern Conference Finals yet again. So we look at the special teams. These are some top-notch special teams. LA, 31.6%, 7th on the power play, and 79.1% second on the penalty kill in the NHL. And for Boston, 34.2%, that's third in the NHL, and 82.6% penalty kill. That is the best penalty kill in the NHL in the regular season. Now, looking at the playoffs, LA is scoring at a 5.18 goals for per game, only giving up 2.18 goals for per game, so they're at a plus 33 goal differential. And Boston at a 3.76 goals for per game and a 2.29 goals against per game. They're sitting at a plus 29 goal differential. So some of the individual player leaders here. Prestera is at 28 points, 19 assists in these playoffs so far. Baslin, the top defenseman for LA, 75.71 defensive rating. And, Dark Times, an 800 save percentage and a 2.43 goals against. Now for Boston, you have Rhyme, 86 with 25 points. 20 of them are goals. Unreal. Danny, their top defenseman, 78.56 defensive rating, and Sway in the net, an 807 save percentage, and a 2.29 goals against. All right, so there's the matchup. Pretty interesting teams on paper. High scoring, good defense, good goaltending. So it's really the two powerhouses of the LMSHL, right? So we'll take a look at the player leaders in the playoffs, as we always do. Playoffs. And really quick, while I pull this up, not really going to be looking too much back at the last round. I just don't have time, unfortunately. So here's a quick recap. Edmonton got bitch slapped. Philly gave him a good chance, but just didn't work out. There you go. You're caught up. We'll take a look at LA first. So, like I said, Prestera's got 28 points in 7 games, so he's at 4 points per game. Pre-cut Club, 23 points in 7 games. Dorito, 18 points in 4 games. Drysdale, 16 points in 4 games. So these guys just up and down, just scoring at will. Baslin, 12 points, but he's played the majority of defense. She Love DJ, 12 points. Foams, another defenseman, 10 points. So, yeah, these guys, we all know about LA. They're going to be a tough out no matter what. If we look over at Boston, they're no slouches themselves. Rhyme, 86, again, 25 points, 20 goals in 8 games. Muggy's got 22 points in 9 games. Delusions, 20 points in 8 games. Timmy, 20 points in 9 games. Pels with 17. Archie with 16. So Crazy Flame with 11 on the back end there, with Archie and Dean down here, and Danny with 6 as well. So, in my opinion, this is not really that much of a out there kind of statement, but this will definitely be LA's biggest test. This is probably the only other team, and no offense to everyone else, but this is probably the only other team that can really give LA a serious run for their money. Chicago, they they were probably third or the second team after Boston, and they did get a win. But LA, man, they're just such a good team. We all know this, but it's going to be tough. Now, for my predictions, it's tough because it's tough to bet against LA. Of course, they're 12-1 in the last 13 games in the playoffs. So like, how can I? Yeah, and before that, if you take a look at their entire season, right? If we go to the standings, this is not right. 55 games is not right. If we look at their 54 games plus the 13 playoff games, these guys are 63, 3, and 1. That is absurd. That is crazy, crazy shit. So, I mean, how can you bet against that? And I'm not going to. I'm going to say LA wins this in 6. I think Thursday night we're looking at a Cup champion, and the offseason will begin on Friday. That's going to be my prediction. But definitely don't count out Boston. I mean, these guys, they know how to score, play defense. In my opinion, the best goalie in the NHL. And, of course, they love to hit. So they are very tough to play against. It'll be interesting to see how they match up in a 7-game series. In a one-night, 2-gamer, like, it's whoever's really available that night. But in a 7-game series, you're putting your best on best. So I'll be interested to see how that all shakes out. But I do think LA wins in 6. All right. So now we'll switch gears. We will now take a look at the AHL. All right. So the Hartford Wolfpack making their stampede through the East. They meet Henderson in the Cup final in the AHL. All right. So they beat Grand Rapids in 7 games. And one of those games was a crazy, I think it was 4 overtime games. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I remember watching it. It was wild stuff. And I think Grand Rapids actually won that game. Metro, I think, faced almost 50 shots maybe for Hartford. So, but the Wolfpack come away with the win in the series, so they're happy with that. And meanwhile, for Henderson, it's really been quite an easy run of the postseason. I mean, they take down Coachella Valley pretty easily, and there are a couple of forfeits in there. Then they go through Rockford, not a problem. And then they go through Tucson, and their Cinderella run ends. So, unfortunately, they fall short as the 3rd seeded in the Northwest Division. So, unfortunate end of the season for Tucson, but a great run for them nonetheless. They came just a couple games short of the Cup final in the Calder Cup. So, lots to look forward to for that squad down there. So we'll go back to the tail of the tape. So, again, Hartford taking on Henderson. They split their season series 1 apiece. Henderson finished first in their division. Hartford finishing first in their division. Like I said, Henderson has defeated Coachella Valley and Rockford in 5 apiece and Tucson in 6. Hartford has taken down Hershey in 5, Wilkes-Barre Scranton in 7, and Grand Rapids in 7. So they have had a bit of a rocky roller coaster ride here, but they've made it nonetheless. Henderson is at 33% on the power play. That's 4th in the AHL, and a 73.3% penalty kill. That's 8th in the AHL. Power play is 29%. That is 9th for Hartford, and Hartford's penalty kill is 68.5%. That's 14th in the AHL. Now, for Henderson, they're scoring in the playoffs at a 4.07 goals for per game, only giving up 2.53. They're at a plus 23 goal differential. And for Hartford, they're at a 3.82 goals for per game and a 2.76 goals against. They're at a plus 18 goal differential so far in these playoffs. Some of the individual point player leaders, Jelly, he's at 32 points so far in these playoffs. Danson Tank is their top defenseman, 78.13 defensive rating. And Simpson in the net for them, he's got a 811 save percentage and a 320 goals against. For the Wolfpack, it's Hale to Brady, 28 points for him. King Nutty, 81.88 defensive rating. He's their top defenseman. And Metro, he's at a quite a good playoff run so far. 8.62 save percentage and a 2.65 goals against. So now we'll take a look. Go back to the player leaders. We'll take a look at the AHL. There we go. So we'll first look at the Silver Knights. These guys, talk about a high-powered offense. Oh, boy. So, again, Jelly, 35 points in 9 games. Temp's got 28 and 6. Jolly Fog, 20 and 6. Quattro Slays, 13 and 5. XCV Baby, 10 and 5. Zekshiro, 9. Dance and Tank defenseman, 8. So, yeah, these guys, they got a great group of forwards at the top here, and some good defensemen behind them. Looking at Hartford now, I think it's a similar story. You have Brady at the top, Grigor, 29, Antibiotics with 23, Bedsy with 23, Chippy, he's got 19, Parks with 19. So, yeah, a bit more depth here in the scoring. You see, you have a couple of top guys here, 31 points, 29 points, and then it kind of levels out, but not really. That's not a bad thing. I don't want that to come across as a bad thing. It's a good thing to have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys hovering around 20 points, these two above 20. And you have an extra guy down here, Gamer, with double digits. So you have all these guys with double-digit points, which is nice to see. Again, that's a good thing, good depth. Especially getting some production, some point production on the back end of the blue line, which is always helpful in these deep playoff runs. You know, like I said, Hartford's played 2 7-game series already, so it's a lot of hockey. So you need contributions from everybody. So I think it's good they have this depth. And now, while I think the depth is good, I don't think Hartford will be able to keep up with the higher-powered offense that is in that Henderson possesses. So I think Henderson wins this. I think they also win it in 6. I think Thursday night the season comes to an end, and I think Henderson is going to be the Calder Cup champs. All right. So again, those are my predictions and my analysis. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will talk to you later.